Ohioans have seen about $50 million worth of ads for and against Issue 2. If passed, state agencies would be guaranteed the same drug price discount now provided to the Veterans Administration. Supporters say it would save the state millions. Critics say the discount would not apply to 2/3 of consumers, so most people would likely see a price hike. The ads are conflicting and confusing, so have voters figured out where they stand? So we came to the heart of the city, right in front of the State House, to find out, after all of that money spent on advertising, do you know if you're going to vote yes, no, or are you still confused about Issue 2?
There's an issue out there.
Do you know that it deals with prescription drugs?
You know what, now that you say that, vaguely, yes, I've seen one commercial.
I vote my conscience, but right now my conscience is confused.
I think from what I've been seeing, I think I'm gonna vote yes.
You think you're going to vote yes?
Isn't that where they're stopping it to where you don't have to pay more, right? I'm just gonna put I don't know, because I don't know right now.
Have you decided how you're voting on Issue 2?
No, I'm not entirely sure what Issue 2 is about.
Have you been watching all the commercials?
Yeah, and feel like I still don't have a good grasp of what they're even fighting about other than attorney's fees.
I've been reading online a little bit, and it seems the one thing that I have gathered is that both sides have spent a lot of money releasing ads across the state, and obviously I've seen the things on TV and things like that, but definitely need to read a lot more before I have an educated vote.
How are you going to vote on Issue 2?
Well, frankly, I was hoping that they would give me some insight, but they were no help. I think I would vote yes. I know very little about Issue 2. The only thing I do know is that the idea is that the state would pay the same rates as the VA. Now, whether that's a good thing, a bad thing, who it helps, who it hurts, I'm not quite sure.
I've lost all hope in the whole political system. I don't even know if I'll ever vote again after this last election. One commercial says that it's going to be better for us, then another commercial said, no, don't vote for it. It's not going to be good for us.
But if he had to vote on this important issue...
How long do I have to decide?
Till Tuesday.
Oh, till Tuesday? I have a decision. I'm going to go home and do some research. I have an answer for you next Tuesday, okay?
Okay.
Where you going to be next Tuesday?
I'll be at work.
Okay.
But I'm counting on you to go vote.
I'm going to do it. You change my mind, I'm going to go vote.
Do you know how you're going to vote on Issue 2?
Yes, I do. I'm going to vote no on Issue 2.
And why?
Because I can't afford not having insurance, not having the prescriptions.
And you think the prices would go up?
Absolutely.
People that has private insurance, it's going to affect them. You know, they're going to have to, their cost is going to go up. And I listened to the forum that you had, and the people that were saying yes, some of the questions that they answered, I wasn't comfortable with. So I would vote no, because I don't want people who have private insurance to go up.
The results of our unscientific poll, confusion wins. Last month, NBC4 hosted a special forum with the two sides of Issue 2. And the question everyone wanted to ask, what is this going to cost me? Those who oppose Issue 2 claim if the drug companies have to charge state agencies less, they're going to make up for those differences on those who are privately insured.
What I'm saying is simple economic fact, right? If you tell any company, whether that company makes drugs or they make television sets or they make automobiles, that they have to sell their product to a certain segment of the population at a low price, what happens to prices for everybody else who are not covered under that edict? Cost shifting isn't some nefarious scheme that's been cooked up by the greedy drug companies, as Matt would have it. It is basic economics. There's no such thing as a free lunch. Somebody always has to pay.
First of all, there's a program already in place where there's a large federal agency that already gets this mandated discount. It's the VA, and it's working very well there. And those cost-shifting things didn't happen when the VA got that mandate from Congress, because policymakers and voters spoke loudly enough to make sure that that didn't happen. And one thing that's extremely important to understand is all these negative impacts that the drug company representatives always love to say what might happen to Ohioans, none of those things are in this legislation. Those are all things that the drug companies would do to Ohioans if we dare cut into their profits. And so you have to understand those ads they run saying 2/3 of Ohioans will see their price go up. Those aren't campaign ads. Those are hostage videos, because they're trying to scare you into believing that those prices would go up when they raise them.
The reason we have a VA statute at the federal level is because when Congress gave Medicaid its discount, prices at the VA did go up because the pharmaceutical companies backed away from some of the voluntary discounts that they had been negotiating with the VA because they didn't want that to be the target price for Medicaid. So Congress had to step in and say, no, we want basically the same deal for those programs.